Alright guys, I apologize for the lack of light in here. It's I gotta get my lighting up in here. You know, like I said in the other video, I'm in a new shop now, or back in the old shop now, and I just gotta get my lighting in here and stuff so I can see what the heck I'm doing. But we're gonna take a look at this Kitchenaid here and see what's going on. This is, as you can tell, this is a 6-quart 575 watt model. As you can tell now that I'm looking at the label, it's a Professional 600. So it doesn't turn on. That's the issue. It does nothing when you turn it on. This thing feels a little clunky too. But anyways, we're gonna go through. We're gonna take this apart and try and find the issue with it. And these, of course, are totally different than you know, most of the KitchenAids that you see me do. They come apart differently. It's the newer style motor that they put in these, and the case is completely different, which you'll get a good look at that here in a minute. So I'll get these screws out of here. There's some pretty long screws. All right. Still packing peanuts everywhere. There's even one sitting in here. All right. You see, this one's got a completely different motor. It's got a circuit board that controls it, and the gearbox is here. And on your consumer models like this, this would be a plastic gearbox cover here, but on these professional ones, it's metal. In 1 second, I gotta go get my glasses. I can hardly see a thing here. All right, let me see if I can adjust this up a little bit for you guys here. All right, I just gotta figure out where to stick this so you can see it. All right, yeah, you guys can see that, but now you can't see the circuit board here. All right, so this here is the circuit board. Like I said, there's a MOSFET right there. Here's your 2 leads coming in from the power. You got your hot and your neutral. And then these are your 2 leads that come out to the motor. And the switch is on right now. All right, so the motor should be running. And like I said, if this MOSFET is switching off and on, you'll still get current through there. Just be how fast is it switching it. So what I'm going to do is try to probe where the motor connections are here. Just back probe these, and you should, I mean, if everything's working correctly, we should see our voltage on there. And as you can see, no voltage. There's no voltage coming out to the meter with the switch all the way on. So I'm going to unplug this. Let's pull our board. Man, these things really stick good. Okay, got another way to tell here too, which verifies it for me, but not that I suggest it to anyone else to try. But we're just going to try to directly jump the motor from outlet power here. And that would be these 2 leads here. And hopefully we don't get it running in reverse. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that right there verifies for us that our circuit board is bad. That board right there, it's the control board for these motors. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off of here, and then I'll go and get one ordered up. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this board ordered up here. Unfortunately, it's got a part number right on it too, if I can't find it by the model number. And as soon as this comes in, we'll get this back together. Alright, new part came in. As you see, they send the whole assembly with it. Alright, so the only issue that I see with this here is that it has a gray knob on it. And of course this machine came with a black knob, so we're just going to switch the switch plate over to here. Alright, so I've got the board in here and I've got it plugged in, so let's go ahead and fire this thing up and make sure that this is going to fix the problem. Alright, so I can go ahead and get everything reattached on here and put back together. Hey, you guys want to see what it looks like underneath the gear housing cover? And you see it looks different than, you know, any other KitchenAids that we've done on here. Well, we did another one that was like this, a KSMC something or another. But yeah, it was very similar. As a matter of fact, it was identical to this. It probably just had less powerful motor. And actually, to take this motor out, this motor comes out on one assembly. And there is, once you take this cover off, that comes off. And then you've got, yeah, there's a screw down there, screw there. You know, and then you just unplug your connectors right there. And you can lift that entire motor assembly out. And you can actually take the motor apart. You know, you take these screw here and screw down at the bottom out, and you can actually, you know, break the motor down if need be. But you can buy, I think the whole motor replacement for this is like 120 bucks, and this right here I think was 70 bucks for that. I'm not sure about the gears and everything, but I mean it's modular, it's repairable, easy to repair, but the parts are definitely a little pricey for them. And here's looking inside the gearbox there. So I'm gonna check this grease. I mean, the grease is probably good. I'm just gonna respread it around on there, and we'll get back together and ready to get back to Jason and get put back to work. So yeah, this is the style that you'll see on more modern KitchenAids. This, as opposed to the, you know, the solid state kind that's still got the centrifugal governor. You'll see this, and what do I think about these? Well, I mean, the fact that you couple it with a, you know, there's an IC chip on here somewhere. Assuming maybe there's, I don't know. That's the on-off switch. I don't know. Oh, right there. All right. Zoom in a bit. Right here, you can see there's your IC, and that's basically what controls everything. This right here will, you know, read the RPM that the motor's spinning, and this right here is basically this replaces your this MOSFET replaces your contact points and your centrifugal governor. It's basically like a switch. It turns off and on really fast, and the faster it turns off and on, the basically, like I was saying before, more current goes to the motor. Um, they're nice. I do like them. Um, under load, this will help regulate with the along with the speed sensor. It'll keep even when you get this thing under heavy load, it'll still keep the RPM the same. And I do like it. I do like these MOSFETs for motor controls. The only problem is a lot of times they overheat and they get burned up. And if this one doesn't look like it's got flour on it, but if you get a big buildup of flour on it, excuse me, big buildup of flour on here, it could overheat because they do get hot because they switch so fast. But yeah, I like the design. I like the fact that if it fails, you just a few screws and you can replace it. Um, there's still something to be said for the old school stuff, but as far as easy to replace, this is easier to replace, but you'll have to replace this more often, almost guaranteed. So, but yeah, the whole housing is different for these. Everything is different on them. They do seem louder too. The metal seems a little thinner, and the whole mechanism just sounds louder. So yeah, not a huge fan of the overall design, but there are some things about it I do like. The actual thing, you don't have no spring on here. It's just all it is. It's plastic, a plastic slide, but you got no spring on there, and long metal levers and stuff. So it's definitely simpler as well. But anyway, this is a wrap. We're going to get it cleaned up and get it back to Jason so he can put it back to use in his kitchen there. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, comments, them down below, and I'll get back to those as soon as I can. And we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, we'll get another video out before too long. Thanks.